All right, folks, we're doing a water analysis on the house. So here's a cool tool. It's called a Spin Touch. No, it's not used for diabetes. It's not going to take a finger stick. But it's a WaterLink Spin Touch.
Uses a disc.
And it uses a disc.
With different balls. Each ball is coated in a different reactant. Each chamber. Ooh. Then it gets put in here, spun around, combined with your water. And then this actually will shoot light through it and measure the resistance of the light on the other end, and it'll tell us down to the decimal what's going on in your water.
Sweet.
No strip test, no guessing.
No guessing. No, he's not a junkie.
Nope.
Oh, gosh, it's almost like we're in a lab. Oh, you just fill it up and it goes around in that little circle.
That's right.
And I got to give you credit for who you are.
Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Yeah, so when they look at the video, they go, oh.
Ask for Trevor.
Ask for Trevor. Trevor's trouble. That's
Always.
why I got him. They said, do you want somebody's trouble? I said, sure. How about Trevor?
That's what I do.
Yeah, Trevor's trouble.
Well.
So for those of you who don't know, I'm on well water. And well water has all sorts of cool stuff in it. I'm going to step back a little bit, get a little more light.
I still take it over municipal water.
That's true. I control my water source.
With all the chemicals that they put into cities. It's
We have another thing. Look, it's like chemistry.
It is.
It is chemistry.
Add reactants to it as well.
Yeah, my brother ran a sewage treatment plant in Washington State, in Tacoma, so he's a water chemist.
There you go.
Yes.
So he's gonna love this.
Yeah. And you can explain everything you're doing because nobody will be bored with the explanation.
So we're going to take reactant A and B. We're going to put A in first. We're going to mix it until it completely dissolves. Then we're going to add reactant B. And when reactant B completely dissolves, then we're going to actually use that to calibrate our device right here.
Ooh.
And once that's calibrated...
Oh, so this is your standard.
Yep. So this is our control. And then we'll actually run the test with your water.
Yeah, I actually think I heard about your company from YouTube. I think you had an ad on YouTube.
Yep. Have you ever heard of leaf filter gutter protection?
Are you part of that too?
We are. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have a need for that.
I was going to say, you don't have a lot of trees close to the house here.
And my neighbor has trees, so I go over there once or twice a year and help him clean out the... You need a trash can?
Sure.
So help them clean out their gutters.
That's a nice neighbor.
Yeah, they're nice people. And his wife, Darlene's a wonderful cook. So I always try to help around 3:30 in the afternoon. Well, I don't know. It just happens. Of course, they'll watch this video. They already know that's my game. Yeah. Glad to come over on an hour or two before dinner.
If all you got to do is feed the guide who helps, that's a good deal.
No, they would do anything for me. If I called them right now and said I need help, they'd be over and go, sure.
Great neighbors. So we'll shake that for a while. Look at that. We got results.
We have results. Oh, gosh. Ferric, pH 8.3, alkalinity 136, whatever that means. Hardness
2.9. You got very soft water naturally.
Well, I'm very soft. I'm just kidding.
That's what it does for your water, eh?
So, I don't even know what normal is.
I mean, there are people that will actually treat their water that has high hardness and try to bring it down to a 2.9.
Really? So, I'm treating my water already?
Well, your water just doesn't need a ton of treatment. Are you getting a lot of scale buildup and stuff like that?
I don't really think so, but, you know, being a bachelor, do I notice? Not really. you know, I've lived in tents in Iraq. I could live in a cardboard box if somebody said I had to, and I'd be fine with that. So pH 8.3, I don't know what normal is.
pH is going to be 7 is going to be baseline. So
Yeah, 7 to neutral.
yeah, you have scale build up.
Oh man, I have scale here. Let me.
So that's calcium and magnesium.
Yeah.
Those are hard minerals. So what it does when you soften it is it swaps out those hard minerals by putting it over resin and replaces it with a soft mineral, aka salt. Salt will break down in water.
Oh, it's like
you can crush it.
oh yeah, water softener.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want that scale. And so you're taking pictures, I'm taking pictures.
Yeah, well documented.
Yeah. And see, I don't know, ferric, 0.1, that must
That's
be...
precipitated iron, so that's going to be iron that's still, it's microscopic, but it is still in solid state. Then you have ferrous iron. Ferrous iron is completely dissolved. That's going to be your high staining iron, the red staining.
Oh, I had that in Illinois when I lived there. But somebody told me I actually had some sort of iron bacteria.
Manganese.
Here.
So if you have iron bacteria, that's called manganese. And that's what we're testing for with this.
Oh, okay.
So 3 kinds of iron.
I know that water was terrible. It made the toilets and everything else. It was nasty.
Yeah.
And then we'd bomb the well with
Bleach.
and it would slow it down for 6 months. Yeah, my brother will watch this video and say, well, this is what this means. And I'll go, okay. So copper, nitrite, nitrates. This is farmland. So it used to be farmland.
Yeah, the fact that you don't have nitrate or nitrites, that's fantastic. Realistically looking at this, your water is actually fairly decent. I mean, it is actually really decent. To have a 2.9 for hardness, and here in Franklin, I mean, I'm actually, that's kind of shocking. I don't know where they're drawing your water from, what aquifer, but
That's good?
yeah, you can see like 25, 30. So to
Okay.
have a 2.9, that's...
And you know it's not being treated.
Right, exactly.
And ALK?
That's alkalinity. So that's not even flagged either. So your water isn't very alkaline. No
And-
copper, that's great.
And pH of 8.3, I don't know what. Obviously, acid water would be bad, I would think. Something less than 7 would be bad, but I don't know.
8.3 is slightly high, but nothing to really worry about because they're pHing certain waters like to like 9.0.
Yeah?
So like if you look at smart water, they have regular smart water and then they have pH adjusted.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Smart water, it comes with the black label, and that's actually pH'd up to 9. So the fact that you're at an 8.3 is
So I could start bottling this
just about.
and say, hey,
I mean,
this is really smart water.
I would run it over like a UV light protecting system, but just about. Yeah.
No, I want to be like Central America. When you drink the bottled water and think it's safe, you actually have diarrhea 2 days later.
You get giardia from
Yeah.
from the water.
Yeah, when we went down to Nicaragua, we actually inspected the bottling plants, and then we had somebody at the bottling plants inspecting the water that was being produced by the Nicaraguans for us. Yeah, a couple of plants didn't make it. Everybody thinks, oh, bottled water is so safe. Yeah, not really. It can be a real shit show.
Yeah.
So you measure out the right amount of water.
Yep.
Now, did you put stuff in here, right?
No,
No, that's untreated.
that both of these are completely untreated. The stuff I put was just these tubes right here.
Oh, just those with the A and B?
Yep, and then this is your raw water. So what we're gonna do with that is calibrate it.
Oh, okay.
So this
You're going to calibrate it with the raw water.
we calibrate it actually with the reactant water, and then we measure the raw water.
Okay, so you're calibrating
against
it.
the
All right.
control.
All right, so this is the calibration. Oh, and it does a light.
So we'll wait until.
So
it
I've never
says
heard of
C2.
manganese as being an issue.
Magnesium is not. Manganese is. Magnesium is part of the thing that comprises hardness.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to do that again.
Why, it didn't calibrate the first time?
No.
If you need new batteries, let me know. I got plenty. And what's...
That's just a pressure gauge in case a house doesn't have a decent pressure gauge on their well pump. I have to, I'll go outside and I'll check the pressure at the water spigots or something to make sure that they have enough pressure. Otherwise, there's highs and lows for our equipment.
Oh, they want a certain range of pressure?
Yep. Like things like reverse osmosis, that takes a minute and a half. Things like reverse osmosis require a certain amount of pressure to actually push that water through that RO membrane and through the different cartridges.
Okay.
Like the carbon cartridges and things like that. So if you have too low, it's just not going to work.
It's just not working.
Yeah. And since we don't want to install or do any type of work where we're going to get phone calls with unhappy
It's
customers.
not working.
Yeah.
Well, your pressure's low. Well, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, we tested for it. And yeah.
So what do you do if someone's pressure isn't good enough? What's the solution for...
We don't actually sell pressure tanks, so what they would actually have to do is basically call. Yeah, your TDS levels are super low too. That's great.
Oh, that's Trump derangement syndrome. Isn't that a TDS?
TDS.
Isn't that what, oh, that's total dissolvable solids.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Everybody says I have TDS, and I go, what are you talking about? Isn't that what they call it? Trump derangement syndrome?
Is that a new
That's the phrase for it. Yeah, I know a lot of people who are just, years later, they're just, oh no, I can't stand the man. He's so terrible. So what is the number it's saying?
165.
And what is the range of normal?
We want to see it under 400.
Oh man.
So water bottles are going to be anywhere between 5 and 155.
Oh, so it's water.
You have water bottles.
I say we got to go into business. This will be
There you go.
from Wisconsin Aquifers. Yes, I can see. I'm doing the marketing.
Franklin bottle
Limited
company.
supply.
Yeah.
Yeah, by invitation only.
You could call it artesian water.
Yeah, I lived in Washington, and we had Olympia, Washington, where beer is, and they used to call it artesians. So we had this joke about artesians being like people, and that's where they got the water.
Olympia on the other side of the bay there, right?
It's actually where the Capitol is. It's on the west side, and it's down. Yeah,
Okay.
It's right on I think it's the Puget Sound comes all the way down to Olympia. It's been a long time since I've been to Olympia. So I'll have to have artesianal water. Yes. I'll start marketing water. Yes, it's a specialty. So far the water is reasonably good except for my scale. God, I'm so embarrassed. I think this is going to be in the public forum. I'm going to have... You got scale? Yeah.
Scale building.
Well, I don't think I'll come over tonight.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's like lice.
What kind of man allows scale in his house?
And so this one is...
That is your manganese.
Oh, I'm a 00.
You got 0.
I'm double odd. What am I, a shotgun shell?
So you got no bacterial metal in your...
Oh, so manganese comes from bacteria that eat the
It's a bacterial metal. It attracts bacteria. So
But I've got scale.
scale is just hardness.
I thought scale was like lice.
It's pretty gross.
It is. Bed bugs, lice, head lice, body lice, pubic lice, or crabs, as we like to call it in the military. He's got crabs. Yeah, I had an experience when I was out training once. The cooks came up, and they had this piece of paper folded up, and it was from a popular girly magazine. And I'm sleeping, and they wake me up, and they say, "Look what we found." And I'm looking down at pubic crabs, going, "You don't need to have those in my sleeping quarters." All the cooks had crabs, all of them, and they were head, tail. I mean, they were sleeping right next to each other. So I remember we had to strip them all down. We took all their stuff, we put it in chlorine bleach, And we remember having them stand in the showers, and we hit them with chemicals, and they were all naked. It was a fun time. All their uniforms were stripped off. We steam cleaned them. It was a riot. And my medics still remember it. They said, "Look, Doc, they got crabs." And I said, "Yeah, well, we're leaving now. I don't want crabs."
That's great. Wonderful.
And the cooks were awesome guys. They just, one of them had crabs, and since they were sleeping next to each other, the next one had crabs, and the next one.
When you're sleeping in Quonset huts or...
Oh, yeah. These were tents. I think these are the GP mediums.
All the snap together at the top.
Oh, God. These were the old canvas ones before we had the rubber ones that whenever the weather would change, you'd rain inside the tent because we'd have hot, humid air during the day. And inside the tent, this rubberized tent was hot, humid air. And then the cold air would come in. It literally rained in the tent. You'd wake up in the morning just...
Condensation.
Yeah, it would condense. Yeah, I didn't appreciate how much fun it was then.
It was lost on you at the moment.
It was.
Yeah.
And I look back on it and go, that was pretty funny.
When you're desperate for warm, dry clothes.
Yeah, keep all the clothes underneath the
I was going to say,
cots.
you put it underneath your ISO mat, and you sleep on it, and the
Yeah.
ground and everything absorbs the moisture and kind of heats.
And then those cots weren't made for really tall people in Iraq. And I remember the locals gave us, we purchased these 3 or 4 inch thick pads, foam pads. It was a miserable sleeping situation if you were more than 6 feet tall.
I still sleep on a 4-inch memory foam pad on the floor.
Oh, gosh.
To this day.
Good
Regular
man.
beds, I just can't do it.
Yeah, I remember those cots in the old GP mediums in Iraq. These tents, oh, geez, the dust.
Total harness. Total iron.
All right.
Copper 0. Your iron that is coming through is ferric iron.
Okay.
So that is iron that's still in solid state. It can break down, especially if it sits in like the back of the toilet bowl for a longer amount of time.
Oh my God, you've been in my toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Just 2 weeks ago, I pulled up the toilet tank and I couldn't see into the bottom. It literally was black water in there, and I thought, this isn't right. So then I cleaned it out with a brush and some, was it vinegar or something I put in there? Can't remember what I put in. And now you can actually see the bottom of the toilet tank.
That's really interesting. How long did it sit before it was black water?
Probably 2 years.
Oh.
It had not been cleaned in 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now, but I've never been in a place where I had to clean the...
Was that here?
Yes, the toilet tank, not the toilet bowl.
Bowl. Okay.
Yeah, not the...
I was gonna say, because black water can be a sign of manganese, and I got a 0 for the manganese.
No, it was a sign of
Hasn't been
single
cleaned for
male...
me.
Yeah. No, the toilet tank was
SMS.
all black.
Single male syndrome.
Yes, single male syndrome, exactly. And the end result is, it was nasty. So folks, I'm going to turn off the video for a second. We'll get back. We're talking about options here.
Yeah. So we can do a softener carbon tank combo. What that's going to do is basically soften your water, and then that ferric iron that's in there, it's going to scrub that out. Any type of sediment and everything that comes in from well sources, it's going to filter that out. You have a fridge that has a carbon filter, so imagine the carbon filtered water, but for the entire house.
Okay.
Yep. So that's what you would be getting out of there.
So it'll be taking all the chemicals and shit out of it with the carbon filter.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't detect really a lot of chemicals, but that doesn't mean that they're not necessarily there. We just didn't pull up nitrates on the spin test. But anytime you have carbon scrubbed water, I don't think carbon scrubbed water is ever a bad thing.
No, I'm good.
Otherwise, your hardness levels are low enough at a 2.9 to where if you don't mind the scale buildup, we can also just do a softener or just do a carbon tank. You have kind of options that way because...
But I could do both, which is...
our bread and butter as a company are the carbon tanks, are the combos. So that STO 1.0, which is what it's suggesting.
That's what you call it, STO 1.0?
That'd be a 1.0. We have a 1.0, 1.5, and a 2.0.
So why aren't I 2.0 worthy?
You're just not big enough.
Man,
Just not
that is
big
so.
enough.
We're gonna delete this.
You know, we can. If you want to go with the 2.0,
Yeah, I can say, I got a 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 1.0.
Yep. So that would be the suggestion there, as far as the treatment options that you'd be looking for. But again, that 2.9 hardness is just that is just unique. It's never that low, but it is that low here, so you have decent water.
Oh, that's good to know. Everybody comes over and I say, do you want bottled water or tap water? And I'll take the bottled. And I said, well, the water's pretty good. No, because they're so used to a well being hard and nasty and yucky.
Yeah, and your TDS levels being at 165, the bottled water that they're drinking literally has the potential to be worse.
Oh, wow. I can't wait till I tell them that.
Yeah.
I can give you the good stuff from the tap, or I can give you the crap from the bottle.
And once you carbon filter it, I mean, if you went with like the STO, once you carbon filtered it,
So what does STO stand for?
that's a softener, and then the TO is actually a TOC. So if you bought the carbon tank by itself, it's called a TOC tank. That's taste, odor, chemical.
Okay.
So that's a catalytic carbon tank. That catalytic carbon tank is just going to scrub out and actually perform a catalyst on anything that's actually bonded to the H2O itself, so it can actually separate things just like a catalytic converter.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's catalytic grade carbon and
And the S stands for
softener.
softener. I think I was going to say sediment.
But keep this in mind, if you went with a water softener, there are still going to be trace minerals of salt coming through all of your pipes, because the way it looked outside and everything, after point of entry, you have 2 T's that break off and actually feed your outdoor spigots. Those are going to be untreated lines.
That's fine.
Yep. Everything after that, throughout the entire house, is going to be treated.
So there'll be a small amount of salt in exchange for the
Getting rid of scale.
getting rid of scale, but there isn't a lot of scale, so there shouldn't be a lot of salt usage.
Correct.
Okay.
And the salt is really only used to rinse out the resin.
Oh, you're right. I remember when I was in Illinois, the resin device had to be back flushed or something like that.
So it's going to be the resin that gets rinsed, but there will still be trace minerals of salt in there. I have seen this with our system. We had a master gardener, and he had his lines outside that were still going through a water softener, and he never lost any plants. That was his case. I'm not going to say that's going to be your case, but I have personally seen that. Not like I heard it from a story or a meeting. Like
You've experienced it.
I've seen it with my own customer.
So how much sodium would be in the water? Negligible. Because, those people with high blood pressure, we don't want our sodium. We got a salt shaker for that.
Yeah. And
Okay.
politicians.
And politicians. Now we're going to get in trouble. Somebody's going to react to this and get triggered. Oh, no, don't get triggered. Okay. Well, guys, we had the explanation. I'll see you in a bit, and if I don't, I still love you.